Here's the boba sequence, how to make the boba. The ratio of boba to water is 1 dry cup to 1 water liquid cup. Right, this is the 240 milliliter, which is the largest one we have. This is the large liquid cup, which is 1 quart. Right? So when you're making the boba, large or small, keep in mind it's 1 dry cup to 1 liquid cup. Okay. And the procedure is we're going to boil the water first. After the water is boiling, then we put in the boba, and then we stir the boba for about 20 to 30 minutes. Right? So to start, since it's winter right now, we're going to start with just 3 dry cups of boba to 3 liquid cups of water. Alright, we have 3 cups of water in here. Just cap it, and here's the induction heater. The induction stove does not heat up. There's no actual heat. It's it heats through magnetic induction, which means that it transmits the magnetic pulses to the metal, the stainless steel. So this means that you can touch this, it'll only get mildly warm, but do not touch the pot because the pot will get hot. Okay, so please be careful, do not burn yourself. Don't be fooled, oh it's warm, and then you touch this and then you're gonna burn yourself. So don't. Alright, to boil, we just set it to the max and just leave it. When you set to boil, or when you're cooking anything on the stove, you have to set the timer. Right? It's the same timer that we use for the bun proofing. So set the timer to, let's say, 20 minutes, and then come back and check to see if the water is boiling. If it's busy, if it's not busy, then just check every 10 minutes when you're walking around here, or every 5 minutes even. Right, so once this boils, we're going to pour in the boba. When you put in the boba, reduce the temperature to 500 degrees. Or it's not degrees, but whatever this is, to 500. Pour in the boba slowly so the water doesn't splash out, and then stir every 5 minutes. Keep stirring the boba so it doesn't clump and melt and adhere to the bottom of the pot. Okay, as you can see, the water has started boiling. Once the water starts to boil, we're ready to put the boba in. So we put 3 liquid cups of water. So we're going to put 3 dry cups of boba. Okay. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Once you put the boba in, you drop the temperature down to the lowest temperature, 500. And we stir the boba. We always have to stir right after we put in so the boba doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. And this stirring process is going to continue let's say every 3 to 5 minutes. It's real important that you keep stirring whenever you remember, so the boba doesn't clump together. When you're not stirring, just put the cap back on. We're going to let the boba boil for about 20-25 minutes. After that, you can take some out and make sure it cools a little bit and taste it. The consistency should be chewy and but not gooey or flaky. Alright, so after the let's say about 20 minutes, okay, just scoop a little bit out, run it under cold water to cool it down, and then taste it. Alright, it should have a black consistency like this, sort of like gelatin. right? And then when you taste it, there's actually no flavor. What you're looking for when you taste it is the texture and consistency of the balls. Okay, it has to be chewy but slightly firm. It shouldn't be powdery. If it's powdery, then that means that it's not fully done. That means the starch isn't fully cooked. If it's too chewy, excessively soft, like Jello, then that means it's overdone. So the sweet spot is that it's slightly chewy, slightly firm, right? So let's try it. This batch is a little bit too chewy. I think we went a little bit over the allotted time. Probably we weren't keeping track, so it's been about 35 to 40 minutes. But everything comes with experience. You'll know exactly what it's supposed to taste like after you do this a few times. Always ask a coworker. So when the boba's done, what you're going to do is rinse it through cold water, right? And then put it in a separate container. Right here. We're going to run it through this and then dump it into this. So I first fill this with water, with cold water. About halfway is all you really need. Alright, set it aside, and then this should be a two-person job. Just slowly pour it into the drain, the strainer. While the strainer is directly underneath the running cold water. And just let the cold water run over the balls to cool it down. And whatever you strain out, just dump it into the steel container. Again, ask for help when you're doing this because the pot can get very heavy. So just strain it, dump it, and just continue until you're finished. Alright, we strained the boba through the cold running water to cool it down. Alright, and it's all in here right now. You can see, there it is. So it's sitting in cool water. And what we're going to do next, the final touch, is to add a cup of sweetener. Alright, so basically the sweetener is next to the tea prep station. Just do 1 cup. So, dump it in and stir. Okay. And then you put on the lid and put this into the cold table underneath the toppings. And it's ready to serve. And the bobas will last about a day or two, at the most 2 days. Every day you gotta stir it or add water because it does dry out. So taste it every day. If it tastes weird, then dump it and make a new batch. But generally, ideally actually, we should be making new boba every day. But if things are slow, then make every 2 days. Okay? So this will last us about 2 days. Whatever's left over, dump it and make a new batch.